Back to America TV. Begin with me, Fifi, and I want to welcome all of our audience and members joining us online. And for those of you guys who are joining for the first time, hey, welcome to America TV. So America is the U.S. Embassy American Center here in Jakarta, and our mission is to provide a space for young Indonesians to learn more about the United States. And for those of you who are joining our live via our social media platform, don't worry guys, you can just simply leave your questions at the comment box for each platform or just simply say hi to us. And today we're going to discuss about how music can tell the story, American silent films with a modern musical take. And before we start the event, let's break the ice with a little game. So I have the questions for tonight, and the question for today is, in what era were silent movies popular? Is it A, 1920s, B, 1930s, C, 1940s, or D, 1950s? You can just simply answer the question by commenting at our live of our social media. And stay tuned until the end of the program because I will give live shout out at the end of the event to you guys with the correct answer. And don't forget to take a selfie during the event and tag at America's Instagram account. All right, I think that's it for me. I just want to pass it to our moderator for today. He is a medical doctor, also an entrepreneur, and also a content creator. Please welcome Dr. Daniel Lienata.
Thank you so much, Vivi. You are so beautiful today, and good evening, everybody. Welcome here to this magnificent setting in the American Center under U.S. Embassy, Jakarta. And my name is Dr. Daniel Lienata. My background is I'm a medical doctor at Hermina Tangerang General Hospital and Kedaung Wetan Community Health Center. I'm also an entrepreneur. I run an online lobster restaurant and several other business, and also a content creator. You can find most of my content on Instagram and YouTube, DokDanielTV, and also I've been speaking on national television for several channels, mostly for health educational purpose. It is such an honor to be here as a moderator of tonight's event. Also, because of my background, I'll be very much aligned to put forward the audience's viewpoint throughout this event. I'd like to welcome all of audiences or viewers at home on behalf of the organizers at America and the United States Embassy who have provided us this splendid platform for us to hold this special event. Thank you very much. And the other special thing is music. What is so special about music? As we all know, music has the ability to create mood and feeling. Music can bring us the happy feeling or a sad feeling, or even make things feel hilarious. Music also touches our emotion and brings nostalgia. It is a common knowledge that music and words combined creates a powerful way for us to send a message. Music and words combined also became a part of an identity of a nation. In every aspect of our life, almost in every occasion, music is there and put our lives in a different level. In every occasion, music and films combined is no exceptions. Through silent films, and thanks to Paul Roger, Etienne Jules Mary, Edouard Muybri, and of course thanks to Charlie Chaplin, keep our dreams alive regardless the limitations at their era. Music through silent film is there to bring us to the whole different exciting experience. And also we thank them that we finally here with all of this advanced progress in audio-visual technologies. And for that, tonight it's all about appreciation and remembering the majestic silent film was in its era. And for that, ladies and gentlemen, viewers at home, we're gonna bring you to travel back in time and experience the era of silent film with a little bit of twist. And let's see how we combine a classical visual with a contemporary sound by presenting A Dog's Life by Charlie Chaplin with a musical arrangement by Indonesian US educated composer, and also we'll learn about the history of the earliest days in American film. How exciting is that? And I'm gonna introduce us to our panelists that will bring all those things with us. The first one is the very talented Mr. Misael Tambuwon. He is acting as a composer, educator, pianist. Hello, Mr. Misael.
Hello.
I'm reading your achievement, your bio right now. Okay, let me get back to you in a moment. Misael Tambuwon, he is acting as a composer, educator, pianist, where his music has been featured both nationally and internationally, including Italy, Sweden, France, Belgium, Macedonia, Georgia Republic, Thailand, China, Indonesia, of course, and the United States of America. Some professional ensembles and orchestra have featured his original composition, such as Peabody Chamber Opera and Ensemble Maryland, Amarillo Symphony in Texas, Antwerp Symphony in Belgium, American Open Ears in Oregon, Neve Trio in Boston, Jakarta City Philharmonic in Indonesia, MTNA at Carnegie Hall, and of course Amani Winds, New York City. Tambuwon attended a few prestigious schools, including Peabody Institute of Johns Hopkins, Eastman, Tbilisi Conservatoire, and SAE Institute, and studied under following teachers: Dayan, Michael Hirsch, Benjamin Brooks, Maka Pizaladze, who are the winners of some major international competition such as Pulitzer Prize, Grammy Awards, Rome and Berlin Prize, and many more. Since returning from the United States of America, he currently serves as a chair of composition in Music Conservatoire at UPH, Universitas Pelita Harapan. What an awesome bio right there. And hello, Misael. Thank you so much for joining us. And I hope you're
Thank
ready
you.
for our event tonight. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling really great.
Nice.
And I'm excited.
Awesome.
Excited
Yeah.
for you guys, the audience, to check out our new arrangement of music by Charles Chaplin.
So do I. I'm so excited. And before we continue our event, before we watch the film and listen to your amazing, I believe it's gonna be amazing, I'm gonna introduce us to our second panelist, who is the master at the silent film itself. She is a very beautiful woman who is a film critic, very, very difficult to find this day, of course. Thanks to our awesome people right here, we finally able to locate her. Thanks to CIA. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, let me introduce us to Mrs. Lisabona Rahman. Hello.
Hi there.
Hello, Lisabona. How are you doing?
Great, thanks. Thank you for
Okay,
this
let me introduce
opportunity.
you to everyone who are watching us right now. So Lisabona Rahman, she started out as a film critic for the Sunday Jakarta Post in 2005. Between 2006 and 2011, she worked for the Jakarta Arts Council as programmer of Micro Cinema Kina Forum. Am I pronouncing it correctly? I hope so.
It's pronounced Kinoforum.
Kine Forum. Absolutely. And in 2008, she launched Indonesia 10 years after Reformasi, cinema documentary workshop together with German filmmaker Sebastian Winkels. Amazing. She further explored programming and took up specialization in archival films. Lisabona received her degree in film preservation and curatorial from the University of Amsterdam in 2013, and then worked at the Specialized Restoration Laboratory El Imagen Ritrovata Bologna until 2016. She is presently working for various archival film projects as well as organizing a microcinema called Kinosaurus in Jakarta. How are you feeling tonight, Lisa?
Great. I'm excited too.
I'm reading it as if I'm reading a Mars language. It's so difficult. But am I doing just fine? I think
You're
so.
doing a good job. Don't worry. Keep it up.
And I'm gonna introduce you and all of us to our third panelist, which not less amazing than the first two, of course. Actually, Kevin is the most famous between us because he was featured in Home Alone. And he just finished setting prank for all the bad people, but now he is with us tonight. Kevin Leonardo, hello, are you here?
Hello,
Yeah.
Daniel. Hello,
Looking
Daniel.
great, buddy. And let
thank
me
you.
introduce you to all of us. Kevin Leonardo, after graduated from Bandung Institute of Technology, specialized in acoustic under Engineering Physics Department. His main projects area including acoustic and audio system design, audio production, and music itself. His recent projects are including noise and acoustic system for Mexicola. Wow, who doesn't know Mexicola? And Holy Wings, DBS Tower, and Ciputra Artpreneur Theater. Awesome. These are amazing places to really enjoy the music. No wonder they have such amazing music experience provided there. Thank you, Kevin. Such an amazing job. You do amazingly,
Thank you.
regardless. I think there's not too many people who are so specific in that field. And I think Indonesia is so proud of you, and we are so lucky to have you, and also the world lucky to have you. And at last, his musical talent has brought him to be the sound design and music production lecturer in Conservatory of Music, also from Universitas Pelita Harapan, UPH. Awesome. I'm facing amazing people right in front of me. And of course, I feel so honored and so delightful to be here. And also, I believe every one of us watching the event tonight. And as we know, today we're going to watch a silent film titled A Dog's Life by Charlie Chaplin, which I have already mentioned at the very beginning that music and film, especially silent film, combined creates an amazing thing that we're going to experience right now. But there gonna be a little bit of twist, not a little bit, a little but huge impact. The music composition and arrangement has already twisted by our amazing composer and arranger Misael and Kevin with more you can say contemporary or modern, or let's see how it turns out.
I think I'm gonna be correcting that. So we did rearrangement for this specific film, for the sake of the audience at home and the title as well, so that like people at home can enjoy not just like the most classical film quality or just like a music quality, but we can hear some of the modern touch that me and Kevin did. So please bring your headphones. I think it's better to use headphones so that you can listen the facing here and there, the left and right, you know, the automation and all that, all those effects to be really clear at home. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Misael. The man himself speak for us and explain everything very, very beautifully. And I think without further ado, and we are so excited to watch how it turns out, I think we're gonna present our first video. Okay, let's see. Enjoy. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Fantastic, fantastic. Don't you see, guys? It was even without the dialogue or without the chit chat, but I can understand the context. I enjoyed it. How about you guys? And now we're entering the discussion session. We will talk a little bit this and that about what was the movie about, and maybe first I go to Lisa before we go to Misael. Misael, wait, yeah. We go to Lisa first. What do you think about the first part of the film?
Yeah, it was so exciting to see a mix between something so old, something that was made so long ago, and something so new.
Yeah, I know, right? It was so exciting, and I think there are hilarious scene right there. Even without the dialogue, I can understand, and I quite enjoyed it. What about you, Misael? What do you think?
What do I think about my music or the plot itself?
Yeah, of course. Maybe you can explain a little bit about your composition.
Surely. Yeah. Thank you so much for you guys at home. Actually, this is not the only video that we have. Actually, we're gonna share you the second video after our Q&A and discussion. So please stay tuned with us. So without further ado, I'm just gonna explain you just a little bit of the composition here in this movie. So once I saw or captured this movie, A Dog's Life by Charlie Chaplin, I've just thought that this is just such a perfect movie because actually this is not my only silent film that I rearranged. Actually, there was like another one that was performed back in Texas, both with the small and large ensembles, including the Amarillo Symphony Orchestra, where actually it turned out really, really well, which I didn't know that it could, like attract some audiences over there. Because like I thought it's just gonna be like a comedy movie. It's gonna be very boring, like a cabaret kind of style. But actually people came out to me and they were just like, wow, we need something fresh like this. Like we wouldn't be able to find anywhere else except here. And I was like, oh, for real? Like I think like I should bring this kind of culture back to Indonesia because like even in Indonesia, we do have a silent movie or silent films back then, 1940 something, but it just died. Like we wouldn't be able to find it anywhere else. So when I found this movie and then it already passed the copyright and everything, and then I was just like, well, I think I should do or repeat another dogs movie. So this is my second dog movie, to be honest. The first one is another dog movie. It's called Pes Barbo Samogo. Actually, the link is on YouTube as well. If you can type my name, Misal Tambun, and Pes Barbo Samogo or Orchestra, then you could find it very well over there. So I'm just like kind of combine the plot and the music to be coherently and sync because it's just like that's like the hardest part because I don't want to kill the moment or the mood of the movie by like putting out some of my interpretation over there. So actually I did some research on Charlie Chaplin where what things that he did, what things that he don't want to do it, and since the title is kind of going into the American modern takes music, then I was just like, well, I think I should do the crossover between those generations, because like we can't just do like, oh, I wanna hear like something very EDM, or I wanna hear something very classical. I don't think like we wanna hear all those pure there, but we wanna hear something here and there, so that like some people in some sort of genre they can listen and they can enjoy without something very heavy. So I made it very light.
I think you did an impressive job at our first video, and
thank you. Appreciate it.
You managed to find the balance between the modern music and the music at that era. I think you managed a very, very splendid job. And Lisa, want to add something?
Yes. It's a really new experience. Thank you so much, Misa and Kevin, for the music.
Don't forget about Kevin.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I really enjoyed, especially the whole richness of also like the sound of world instrument that you put into the music. This is certainly not a very conventional way of composing music for silent film. You hear something that really sounds like rumba, or so it brings also a whole cosmopolitan touch to it. It's a lot of fun. Thank you.
Yeah, I know, right? I think I noticed that too. Here and there, I think there are multiple instruments that I think we don't used to hear mixed together, but in this occasion, I think it went very well. Good job, Misael, and also Kevin. Do you want to add something, Kevin?
Yeah, I think Misael have take a lot of credit. I'm just make his song can be played in other platform. I think he is the arranger and he's Yeah.
I think both of you have done a
All of
very,
us.
very fantastic job. Both of you. And I want to
Thank
ask,
you.
I want to back to Lisa. You obviously love silent film, Lisa. Can you tell us what makes silent film so appealing to you compared maybe to the talkies? You can explain a little bit of what is talkies anyway, and the motion pictures nowadays. Please.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. It's a very nice question because it goes really to the heart of what a silent film is. People always think when it's silent film, there is no sound at all that comes into the play, which is not true. It's actually just that when you watch a film, the picture element and the sound element is not merged into one. They're separate. And that's why the first most fun thing I find about watching silent film is always a surprise. Every time it's a surprise because it's like a performance. Every time it's different because the music is different. The tempo that the musician is giving to the film and the emotion is different. So it's like every time it's new. And the silent film doesn't use voice dialogue inside of the film. I mean, sometimes, yes, it can be included into the what we call accompaniment. So what Misael and Kevin did is actually called accompaniment because it's accompanying or complementing the picture, the silent picture.
It is,
and yeah, and which is why film that has merged sound is called talkies, because the first distinctive element of film that has like merged sound is that the characters can talk. But that's also the start of a new era. So coming back to the silent film, what I really love about it is that stories are told with body language and close-ups. Like, even if people don't talk, you understand what's going on. It's very universal. Like, it talks to you very differently than a language does. And you also notice, like, in between scenes, there are writings on the screen. They're called intertitles. Basically, they explain a little bit, like in a very, very short sentence, what is going on. And you have to imagine that during the days, these intertitles can be interchangeable with different languages, or sometimes one intertitles have multiple languages. So film at that time, again, is very cosmopolitan. That's why I really like the combination between Misael and Misael's music and this film, because it brings together that element, that film travels and can communicate in so many different cultures.
Yeah, I think maybe add
Please.
a little bit. When people say love is universal language, but I think there are something new we learned tonight, like the silent movie behind the silentness. It also came out as a not language, as a message deliverer. Do you think so?
I would say that for me, it's always like silent film brings up a lot of emotions.
Emotion, yes.
Like, the story can be the same. Like I said, I have watched this film maybe multiple times, but every time with different music and different way of watching it, the emotion that it installs in me is very different.
So the first time you watch,
the story can be the same. Over and over again.
The first, the second, the third times you watch it, you get a different feeling. You get a different experience. Yeah. I think it's an interesting idea that the silent movie came up with, and with today's composition, a little twist from Misael and Kevin also brings all new experience, all that experience that you've been feeling differently every times to a whole different level. Don't you think so?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and I mean, when I say different emotion, it doesn't mean that one day I feel happy and the other day I feel sad. It's not like that. It's actually something more nuanced. Like it's still like, for example, when we see the tramp. So the character of Charlie Chaplin is known as the tramp, and the tramp was stealing bread, right? On the sausage hot dog counter. So I would feel the suspense, yeah, of we're seeing somebody stealing, and we sympathize actually with him stealing, and then we see oh he's going to get caught, but this suspense, this feeling of suspense that I feel here is more like upbeat. It's like faster heartbeat. And if you imagine that you would see it with a different music, maybe something slower with less instrument, you'd still feel suspense, but in a different sense. Maybe it's a slower suspense. It's a more creeping suspense. So music brings a very fine layer, different fine layers of emotion, and you'll be surprised what it does to you.
Yeah, I'm surprised already, and also I wanna remind our viewers that you can also join our discussion by asking question through our multiple platform from our website www.adamerica.or.id, and also from Facebook, Twitter @America, and also at our Instagram @America, and a little bit different at YouTube @America A. So there are double A at the end at the YouTube channel. Okay, you can put your question, and we'll try our best to answer your question. And we already have our first question comes from Bob Kertopati. He's asking through our YouTube channel. He asks, "Hi, good job, guys. How many times were you guys to prepare this music?" Okay, maybe Misael or Kevin, you guys can answer.
Maybe I can answer first, then Kevin. All right. Thank you, Bob. Bob actually is one of my good friends since we were in kindergarten.
Oh,
yes.
Nice. Hi, Bob.
Thank you, Bob, for watching us. Yeah. If you ask how many times, this is kind of a tricky question because we would say it's a pre-recorded or like a pre-arranged beforehand, right? So it took me about approximately 3 days, I believe. 3 days to do the first and the second videos where you guys will enjoy after this one. But for the mixing and mastering and everything, I think it just took like less than 24 hours, right, Kevin? So if you were asking actually the technical questions, those are the moment where we were like working together. And if you were asking me about like how many times or how many days that I got the inspiration, that took a while actually. Because like the first time I needed to discover which movie is more suitable for this specific event. And the second one, I just had to think about the emotion of the movie. Is it suitable to what I can do for this movie, or I can contribute for this movie, or it's just like all about for my homework that I have to do like very hard, right? Actually, I'm very, very comfortable to work with the comedy movie, especially the American comedy movie, since I don't know if my professor is watching us right now, because like I
think he's watching us right now.
Hopefully. Actually, he's the one who taught me to compose the silent film or silent movie soundtrack back in Texas. And yeah, he's one of my influencers for me to create this moment again for us at home.
And I think you, Misael, and also Kevin, you guys did a fascinating job in a very short period of time. And of course, I noticed this is not your first time rearrange and do the music for silent film. I think we thank you so much to bring this whole experience to us. Thank you very much. And I think
Thank you. You're very
because
welcome.
you mentioned your professor, I also want to shout out some of our viewers that is surprisingly watching us right now, not only from Jakarta, but also from Makassar, also from Kalimantan Tengah or Central Borneo, and also from Aceh, from Papua, from NTT. I just received messages from them. Thank you so much for watching us, and also from our friends and family abroad in Seattle, Wyoming, in Boston, and also in Dallas, Houston, Los Angeles. I think this live we are doing right now is very amazing, because not just nationally watched, but also internationally. So I think Misael and Kevin, you guys did a very amazing job. And also Lisa, I want to ask you another question before I jump to Misael. Maybe I ask Misael. Right now I ask Misael. Lisa, be patient, okay? Hang in there. And Misael, as a musician yourself, do you find the original score still relevant with today's need in terms of understanding the scene to create the suitable emotion or certain mood according to the story? Maybe earlier Lisa talked about there are always a new perspective and there is no limitation, but can you share your perspective with us?
Sure. Thank you for the great questions. It's very great, but it's so deep to be answered. In my principle, to create a music or the mood, it has to go into the personal feelings or people feeling. So actually, if you can touch people's feeling, or it can, or also like if the music can be the function for entertaining, then I would say those music already achieved the success towards their feelings. Because of what? Because like for me these days, there are like some music, there are some genres, and there's like a lot of like arrangement which I found or I heard, but not all of them actually quite entertaining. So in this moment where we saw, oh, there's a silent movie film. Oh, awesome. All right. Then probably like some people at home kind of like challenge us like, oh, we'll see like how these dudes can provide or entertain us at home. Are we going to be entertained, or are we just going to be like, oh, there's like so many like parts that we don't like, things like that. So that's actually like the challenge for me, where actually I don't want to avoid the part of the music where the function of the music has to be entertaining to other people wherever they are. Then if you ask me about is it quite relevant or not, then it's very subjective questions. But from the experience that I had so far, that I showed my music to my friends, my colleagues, and some people at home, actually they're quite like interested to what I'm doing, just because like, wow, actually we didn't know that you can bring this kind of old shabby or like old school kind of things to be like very modern and easy to be watched, where everyone like you don't need to be like, oh, you need to be adult to watch this movie. No, you don't need that. Or, oh, actually you don't know like the movie or the plot, like we don't even tell the audience at home what's the plot, right? But I'll just like give the audience the interpretation or the plot for them like to compose their own story about this movie. Also like for those who just join with us, then probably you want to like just be patient to watch for our second video and just be creative at home.
Of course. And I think it was also spectacular in a way how you managed to combine those instruments which also being asked by a person from YouTube. This is our second person who asked a little bit more about technical things. His name is, no, I think it's from FT Jakarta. I think it's an institution or a person, I don't know, but he asked, what are the instruments do you use to record the music? Thank you. Again, this is a very very technical. Do you want to answer that?
Yeah, sure. I think Kevin saw all the tracks, right? So probably Kevin can share us about like, oh, what's the effects or what's the instruments that you saw there, and then what's the audio or the software instruments that you don't need to like mention one by one, because like I know like we got like 33 tracks, I believe.
Yeah.
But like
I think he's ready to answer that. Look at him, so comfortable there.
Yeah. So Kevin, please.
I don't know, but I think Misa use all. I think you use all MIDI in Logic software, right? But I think the most he used some flanger effect to the woodwind. The wind. I think it's Erhu, right? He mentioned me to use like a flanger effect, so you can hear right to left, right to left. So I think that's a fascinating in his project. Yeah. And also I want to mention that if you want to compare the classic Charlie Chaplin music and his music, I think that he Misael mainly use the percussive instrument rather than a classical instrument like violin and etc. So as you can hear, many percussive to build the mood.
Yeah, I feel it, Kevin. I think I'm a little bit dancing. I think thank you for JP for FT Jakarta for the question. Very technical. Our first two persons who asked question, but now I'm gonna move to our panelists who are the most beautiful between us. Lisa, you are the most beautiful between us, Lisa.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And my next question is between 1890 to 1920, many of silent films has been made. However, some sources 75% has been lost. Is that the reason your focus is more on Chaplin films, or is there any other reason?
I just want to note that it is very interesting that Misael chose to play to a Chaplin film today, because Chaplin himself was actually a good musician. He comes from a musician family. His parents were singers, and also they played a couple of instruments, but mostly they're singers. And he himself was a very good violin and piano player. And he composed lots of his own film music accompaniment. And to address a Chaplin film as a composer, I think is of course you have to think about emotions, and but I really appreciate the music, especially realized in Chaplin. But this guy's work is actually quite monumental, both in terms of the work itself, but also the preservation of this work. I'm going to give you a quick quiz question. Can you guess, like, how many of Chaplin's films are actually lost? Just do a guess.
I think it's a question that every one of us ought to answer, because all of us basically work on this project, Chaplin's film. So I think I'm gonna do phone a friend, Kevin and Misael. Hey, don't you dare, bro! Come on.
All right. I
Very
think I'm
big
gonna
one.
use an option to call my friend Miss Lisa. Okay.
It all gets back to you, Lisa. Because
Yeah.
come on.
Well, it's okay. I mean, because like I said, I mean, this guy and his work is really quite remarkable. So the answer to that question is zero.
Are you kidding me?
There
Zero?
is no single film that
So,
Chaplin has made all his life that was lost.
so when you
So
said the
this
prep,
guy,
the
that's why,
preparation
yeah,
is correct?
that's why I say this guy is very special. Like, you know, you yourself quoted a source that said like 75% of silent films are lost, and yet
Uh-huh.
we have this one author whose film is not lost at all.
Wow.
He did a good job keeping it. His family did a good job keeping it, and America did a good job keeping them. You know,
Astonishing.
it's something. Yeah, it's something really worth learning for.
Yeah. I think and also watching a lot of Chaplin's film. Obviously you do watch a lot of Chaplin's film. I have not, but I know Chaplin. He is so popular even though in our country in Indonesia maybe there's sort of limitation in terms of technology at the time, maybe at the 80 at the 1920 we I don't know if we already have the projector, the facility to watch Chaplin's film. I don't know, but obviously you watch a lot of Chaplin's film. Is there any interesting insight you want to share with us?
Yeah, especially about how his films were watched in the Indonesian archipelago at that time. Okay, in 1920s we weren't Indonesia yet, but his films were already screened in Batavia and Surabaya and
Wow.
Bandung. Yeah,
Wow.
and
That's,
Chaplin
that's an interesting
himself.
fact.
Exactly. And Charlie Chaplin himself, with his brother Sidney, actually visited Indonesia in 1932
Wow.
on their way to Australia. So he came to Java, he went to Bali, and he also recorded these visits. So you
Wow.
see, even Charlie Chaplin filmed Indonesia at the time.
Wow, I can't believe that. Oh my
Yes.
God.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Indonesia was
it's
part
true.
of Chaplin's work.
Yeah, he did record his visit here together
Wow.
with his brother Sidney. Yes, and so to go back to what interests me about him is also, I mean, Chaplin is a huge perfectionist.
Uh-huh.
I had a privilege of working to restore some of his works, and
Uh-huh.
so he is not only a director, he also writes his own film, he stars in his own film, he makes music. He's like, you know, this guy is a genius at almost everything. And he's a very good actor in terms of body movement. So
Yeah, I know.
yeah, if you see his films, like this is not how films made like today, where you know you have lots of camera movement, close up, medium, and you know everything is cut interchangeably very fast. Chaplin films
Yeah.
are a lot of times like one take. It's like theater.
Yeah,
The
I think
camera stays in one perspective, and the actors like move inside of the frame a lot, right?
it have been a perfect one shot, and it must be very difficult.
It's crazy. So during reconstructing one of his films, for example, it's called The Rink, and The Rink is a story about mishaps in a roller skating rink.
Okay.
So you already can imagine, mishaps with so many people in a roller skating rinks. Like it's a hilarious comedy. And so Chaplin uses 2 cameras when he shoots his film, and he would do also multiple takes because he's not easily satisfied. Like he doesn't like it when extras are missing their cues or making mistakes or something doesn't work perfectly in his scenes. And always, every single time when he does multiple takes, this guy never misses his cues. he never misses one single tick of his finger. He is such a perfect actor. The only thing that made it possible for me to tell the difference between one take and another are actually other people's mistakes. Because if you keep on seeing him, you just cannot tell the difference between take 1, 2, and 3. That's how obsessed this guy was. And as a result, also, he makes such a special work as a comedian. His comedies are never only funny.
I think it finally paid off. His work long last until maybe 100 years. Mm-hmm. We still enjoy his work, and I think he's brilliant.
Yes, but that's also because his works are, even if it's a comedy, it's not only about fun or funniness. It's also about sadness. It's very critical. Most of his films talk about poverty. So this is an author that's super, super smart. And if you watch more of his films, you'll learn how complex silent film is, and it's not any less enjoyable than our films of today.
Definitely, and very rich, very broad variety of genre, or romantic, comedy, and maybe more emotional. And I think it is such a hard work, because at that time, with all those limitations, the technologies were not even exist, right? So I think we also learn about hard work. Mm-hmm. And it is so interesting with our discussion and the response from our viewers. I think there are one more city I almost forgot to mention. It was from Bandung. Also, our viewers from Bandung and Surabaya. Oh, I did mention Surabaya earlier. Bandung. Thanks so much for watching us wherever you are right now, and also maybe later you are watching our video replay. And right now, this is the time for us to going to our second video, and there are a lot of us who are waiting for more, because the first one has already been very, very appealing. And I think with your review and Misael, Kevin, and you, Lisa, explain everything, it makes us more curious and want to watch more. And without further ado, let me take us to our second video. Enjoy. brilliant. Fantastic. We just went through an emotional roller coaster right there. Lisa, do you want to share something with us?
First of all, it's really cool to see Edna, the actress. That's Edna Purviance. I really thank you, Misael, for choosing those scenes where she appears. I love her very much. Yeah.
You're very welcome.
And, yeah, she appears in a lot of Charlie Chaplin's films, and they were, I think, lovers for a while. She must have been appearing in maybe more than 30 of his films, and she's such a good actress. Like, you see the way she not only her face and how she uses her face, but also how she moves, right? How she was jumping around, and she's a great comedian. Yeah, like they were really a fantastic match in terms of choreography. Yeah. And I really like also the touch of this, very, it's almost like listening to the early techno music when you remember when the tramp is going to steal back the wallet from the two bad guys. He was trying to simulate, one person like a puppet. He was drinking, talking to the friend until eventually knocking off the other bad guy and get the purse. If we were listening, like, just imagine, like, close your eyes, remember that scene, and imagine if you would be hearing, I don't know, a very low tone instrument, like maybe a baritone saxophone, or, the lower range key of a piano in that scene, then that scene would be like kind of scary. I mean, it's quite violent. But, Misael was giving it, I mean, I think the element of suspense is still there, but with this electronic beat, we get two nuances. Yes, there is suspense, but at the same time, it's funny. Like, you chuckle a little bit when you see that audience, like, shit, it hurts. But then it's also funny and you get the suspense. So I think it was a good job. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think I should share a little bit things of it. The one of the hardest part actually to combine or to rearrange those specific moments, because it's very violent. Yes, you're right. Thank you, Lisa, for brought that up. It's very violent, but I don't want to make like audiences at home to feel like, oh my God, I'm so insecure. I have to be locked down at home, and then like I hear this kind of music, I feel terrified. Like I don't want to make them like feel that way, but I want to make them feel that there's a violence in this world, and you got an option to be part of them, or you just like have to watch it. Or actually you should like be part of them, but like try to change the situation. Like there are like a lot of like parts, or like there are a lot of like decisions that you have to make in this kind of not just in the movie but in the real life. So I chose this specific genre or touch, musical touch, just because the world is very evil, right? So I don't want to like add more the evil part of it to our real life, and like that just like make our movie or our events to become very less entertaining. But I just want to like put this entertaining part of the movie to be up there, and then like the audience can hear and feel the emotion of it. They should have known that this specific moments or scene or scenery actually is very, very brutal, but like just take it like to another level of brutality where you actually can handle the brutality. This is like part of the also like humans feeling, where actually if you do have like you mentioned that, right, Dr. Daniel? Wow, it's such a roller coaster, emotional roller coaster and stuff like that. But I don't want to make you or like ask you guys to come together with my emotion, but let's come or like create the emotion together, and then let's feel it together, instead of like, hey guys, this is my emotion and feel it. But the hardest part is to make myself less, but to make this movie more.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is profound. So
yeah, That's just like very, very, not just like hard, but like in terms of like decisions making, in terms of like choosing the right instrumentations, choosing the timing. If you guys could see like some of the scene, it has like a perfect timing where pala pala lap, and then like what pala pala lap, what things like that. It's just like hard like to combine everything at once, but I try my best so that like audience can feel, wow, it's such an entertaining, a movie or silent film during this pandemic. We don't have to feel like worry anymore. There's like a major chord at the end, which makes us very happy. Hopefully, even though the opening of the second video is in the minor scales, which make us like, oh my god, this is so emotional. Like because the movie it already tell the story, it was very emotional. Then I cannot take out that kind of emotion from the movie.
Yeah, I think you are absolutely correct. And Misael, thank you so much again for making such an amazing job. And we are enjoying the music and the arrangement, the composition together combined with the silent film. I think it's surprisingly many of us, and I think so many viewers at home after this event are gonna search for more silent film. I think so.
I believe so, yes.
I think I want to ask about our Chaplin, whom the movie we were watching. Do you know that Chaplin was not only a producer and director, but he also made the music himself. Before this event, do you know that Chaplin made his own music? Many of silent films in his era, they did not do everything by themselves. But Chaplin, very talented person, he did all the work by himself. What do you think about it? Misael, one job like arrange the music, to think about the composition, it's a difficult task to do by itself. But then to produce the film, to direct and to write the scenes, how do you as a composer see Chaplin right now?
Well, if Chaplin is still alive, then probably we will never beat his music at all, just because, like if you guys hear it at home, in the archive.org, for instance, or in YouTube, just like Google Chaplin's movie, all of the emotions, all of the characters, all of the plot and everything that Chaplin did is just like perfect, just about perfect. And actually, there's like somebody who commented in one of our posts story. They're just like, wow, we're gonna hear another perfection. Like the perfect guy that we missed back then is gonna be alive again here in the live movie, even though it's not gonna be his movie. But that's the thing that I try to, like not to delete like some of the scene or anything, but like I try to kind of like make some of the scenes being like very connected, so that like Chaplin's parts or roles is still gonna be there, and also the lady is gonna be there, right? Please mention again the lady's name. I can't really pronounce her name.
Edna.
Edna. Yes, Edna. Who?
Purviance.
Here you go. That.
Edna Purviance. Yeah.
Purviance. Yes, Edna Purviance. Wow. Like when I just like watched this movie, I was like, wow, Chaplin actually put or like allowed this lady to be in the part of Chaplin's act. That's not easy, because like Chaplin has a very, very strong character already. People already know Chaplin. But when Edna came, I know like she's a very talented lady as well back then.
Yes.
But, like to choose such a specific, appropriate music for that specific moments is just like a very, very hard. And I can feel from Chaplin's feeling once I saw this scenery. I was just like, wow, this is gonna be like another moment where I can't, or like Chaplin can just like, oh, I'm the one, like, or I'm like the main character, then you're just like the additional. No, like actually he didn't do that. Actually, he asked or invited her to be in his scenery. If you guys realize that, right? Like he was just like, hey, do you want to dance with me? You mean like dancing, like dancing, or like dancing, just like flirting with me, like things like that. They just like make audience at home kind of like an asking some question like, wow, actually Chaplin is inviting her, like inviting in his presence, together instead of like, oh, she's the additional, then she will support my acts or my acts, right? But like actually he didn't do that. Then that's why like some of the music, if you just realize as well, it's not like, you know, like it's not just like, oh, the genre is a little bit different like here and there, but I try, or like me and Kevin actually try together to make them like combine together and sync together, and not using a lot of like a very what is that called, very, how to say it, like a very, very, you know, like a bursting melody, like where's the melody kind of like everywhere, you know. We just like try to find like a catchy melody where people just like, wow, actually that's a theme, you know. Oh, that's another like exposition. Oh, actually there's a recapitulation, you know, like things like that. Like, so that like people at home will be like, wow, actually the scene is coming back. Yes, how do they know? Oh, from the music. You know.
But Edna did a phenomenal job, and I think she didn't just complement the appearance of Chaplin, Tram, but also their collaboration appears to be essential part of the scene. Don't you think so?
I would agree.
And also with the music, I think when you explain it that way, we can understand it better. When you feel every aspect of the arrangement, I think it was beautiful, and we are so grateful for you. And like Lisa always say, thank you so much for your hard work, Misael and also Kevin. And don't forget, we also want to remind our viewers, you can still ask question and join our Q&A through our digital platform at www.atamerica.or.id, and of course through our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram @America, and also through our YouTube @America A with double A at the end. I want to get back to Kevin. Kevin, what do you think about people nowadays that might never heard silent film at all? I mean, of course, it has been a century ago. Do you have any hope for the people to watch more silent films? Kevin?
Sorry. I think I don't know, but
you want to ask our viewer, maybe you want to share with us your hope about the silent films nowadays.
I don't know, but for myself, that the silent film, I think it taught me that they have many detailed gesture, like Lisa say. In this moment, the age of acceleration, you go as fast as you can, you learn as fast as you can. But if you see the silent movie, that you back to the centuries before and you learn how much the gesture the people can communicate. You know the film with just the gesture and the music. So I think it's a good experience for everybody, including me, to relearn the community, the society through the silent movie.
Thank you very much, Kevin. And we still have a couple of minutes before we end our session tonight. I think we still have time for one quick question to Lisa. Lisa, what do you think about, we are already at the end of our session. Maybe you can give a short and quick brief. What do you think about Timothy Brock's version of score for Chaplin's City Light, The Gold Rush, and The Circus compared to the original in terms of the mood or anything? Do you recognize any difference?
Okay, Timothy Brock is a composer and a music historian who does a lot of research into Chaplin's original work.
Yeah.
So what he does is actually trying to reconstruct how Charlie Chaplin created and performed his music in accompanying his film. The most difficult thing about reconstructing Charlie Chaplin's music is that Chaplin was never taken seriously as a composer because he couldn't write music, like, you know, writing notations. Yeah. So nobody really took him seriously, even if he was actually a good instrument player. So Timothy was not creating a new music, but he was trying to read into Chaplin's mind without writing or without written reference.
I think everybody agrees with that. And Misael, do you have anything to say as your closing statement?
Thank you so much for At America to host this specific event. We were blessed and we were really, really thrilled that this moment could finally be happening to us, to the lovers of a silent film, and also for the people who actually already miss going to the cinema or theater, because like it's still closed out there. Thank you so much. We were really blessed for this opportunity, and um, my last word probably just appreciate to whatever a movie that you're watching, as far as you can watch probably Netflix or like in wherever
Yeah.
whatever platform that you have right now. Just be grateful for what you have right now, because like probably someday like you wouldn't be able to watch it, like in Charlie Chaplin's movie, we wouldn't be able to find anywhere else's probably, so yeah, just use your opportunity wisely,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, just support our local musicians here.
Of course, of course. And thank you so much, Misael, for your work. And I want to give one last opportunity to Lisa to give hope and message to our viewers. Please, Lisa.
Mm-hmm. I really want to thank Misael and Nat America for for allowing us to see silent film and music today. I really wish that everybody enjoyed it as much as we did, and try more, like see more silent films with music. Sit back and enjoy the movement and the music. Don't care about the language. Just welcome it as a new experience. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
And have fun.
Yeah, thank you very much, Lisa, Kevin, Misael, at America, United States of America Embassy, our viewers, and also those who has given us questions at our digital platform. And at last, I want to thank all of us and thank you for the internet because of the very, very good connection. And as my closing statement, of course, before we get back to the beautiful Vivi, I want to give a poem to every one of us so we can be ready to ask whoever we love to watch silent movie together. So you can use these poems later, okay? Don't forget to take note. So here it goes. Roses are red, violets are blue. I don't need anything else to be said. Just wanna silent film and chills with you. And also one more poems. No line, no talk, silent film, black and white. I think because we have already finished, I'm gonna go for a walk because I already need my electrolyte. Bye-bye. Back to the beautiful Vivi.
Okay,
Thank
thank you,
you.
Dr. Daniel, and thank you to all of our speakers for sharing the great session with at America TV tonight. So, guys, earlier in the event, I have a question for you guys at home. And the question is, in what year were silent movies popular? So I have the correct answer, and the correct answer is A, 1920s. And congratulations to @Widi Chaliot from Instagram for answering correctly. And thank you to everyone who has participated. Don't forget to tune in next time and get a chance to get a shout out from us. So for those of you guys who are wondering how can you develop an idea for a place like this, it's just simple. Go to our website at www.atamerica.or.id. Select create a program and go to collaborate with us. All events proposal coming to us will be reviewed and your event might be featured here soon. Don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter for our weekly event updates that will be sent straight to your inbox. And don't forget to follow our social media we have Instagram account, Twitter account, Facebook account, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right, thank you for tuning in and see you next time. Bye-bye.